Good morning, you guys. Happy Monday. I'm going to go through the week with you because I'm still having a few of you, not a lot, be confused. So, if I were an at home student, the first place I would go into Canvas right now is announcements. That's where I would go, at least for my class, every day. I click on the announcements and I write one every day. Um, and so on Sunday, I wrote one that said week April 20 to 24th calendar. Well, today's April 20th. So I want to open that up and click on where it says calendar, and it's going to tell me what we're doing this week. So it says submit the questions about the laundry essay as seen in the This I Believe module. This is the laundry. The questions are here. Okay. And if you go into the This I Believe module, you will see them. I also uploaded a video last night of me explaining my This I Believe essay in my rhetorical choices, because you're going to do that for me when you turn yours in. Okay. You're going to have annotations on the side of your essay. Then this week, I'm super excited. If we were at school, we'd have like a 20s little shindig or something. We're going to start Gatsby. And Gatsby is awesome. It is only 9 chapters, so it's really short. Some of you might actually think we're reading it too slow, but we're still working on your essay, and there's a little bit of writing that goes with each chapter of Gatsby. And so on Tuesday, you're going to click on this, and this is a way to sort of have a discussion without being at school. And so if we were at school, I would have signs on my walls that said strongly disagree, disagree, agree, strongly agree. And then I would read you one of these things. The American dream is not realistic. Okay? So you would drag that to however you feel. Well, I dragged money as a success, all right? So you would drag these to however you feel about them. So think about them. These are all issues that are going to come up with Gatsby, all right? Then you're going to complete a few of all these questions. They're not super long, you guys. They're just to get you thinking. And then I do ask you, says number 3, what surprised you, interested you the most during discussion? Now, we're not here during discussion. If you could phone a friend, all right, that would be awesome. And just be like, hey, what did you think about the American Dream Square? Or let's talk about the turnabout is fair play. Okay. Turnabout means like you did it to me, so I can do it to you, kind of thing. What did you think money can't buy love? Like pick 1 or 2 of those to talk about with a friend, please. So you're doing that to get ready for Gatsby. And then you're going to listen to chapter 1. Yes, listen. And here are chapter 1 questions. Let's open this. So Mr. Osmond is a great English teacher at Appleton West, and he actually recorded himself reading Gatsby. And I've listened to it, some of it this weekend, and he has a great voice. It's a great voice. And he actually pauses to explain a few things as he's reading, which is really nice. And then one of the things he does in chapter 1 is he has a map. And if I were teaching this to you, I would have pulled out a similar map and talked about the location of our narrator, because that's important to understanding some of the themes in the story. So Mr. Osmond actually takes out a map and goes over it with you as well in reading chapter 1. So here are the chapter 1 links. He divided them into 15-minute sections. All right, so the first 4 are 15 minutes to listen to, and then the next one I think is only 5. Here are your groups. These are your groups for the rest of the year. Same groups as last week. So group 1 people are here, group 2 people. Oh, this is a group 3. That must be down here. I'll scoot that back up for you guys, Bella. Right? Look at your group numbers. That's your group number for the rest of the year. These are your people for the rest of the year. So you may as well get on board with them. So your group, you don't have to work with your group this week. I pointed that out to you because the questions are divided by group. So there's a lot of questions on here. You only have to do one question set. So if you're in a group 1, your job is to talk about diction and setting. Okay? If you're in a group 2, your job, you're going to dissect Daisy, the character Daisy in chapter 1. If you're in group 3, you're going to dissect Tom in chapter 1. If you're in group 4, you're doing selection of detail. And in group 5, you're doing tone. Now, the purpose of reading Gatsby is it's a great book that is rich in rhetorical choices. And so every time we read a chapter, you are going to have questions about diction, tone, organizational structure, selection of detail to help you for the test in May. Actually, the very first question on here, all of you are doing, is not divided by group. And this is a magic word, exigence. Exigence, it's what drives a speaker to do something. And so please click on this PowerPoint to review. This has the link to the man singing Amazing Grace, which we did in the fall to discuss exigence, and it also has the link to Macklemore's song and why he wrote that, which we did in the fall. So Nick is our narrator, and he is, obviously Fitzgerald wrote the book, but as a first-person narrator, Nick is our observer. And I'd like you to think about what's his exigence, what's his motivation to write this book. So that's what you're doing on Tuesday. So Tuesday, you have some homework for me, so you might want to get started today. So listen, the words are there as you listen. You can also find a PDF online. And then Wednesday, you have nothing due for me. I might set up some Google Meets to talk about your This I Believe essay if you're interested and you want some help. Thursday, you're going to listen to chapter 2 questions. And that's what these look like. Chapter 2 takes about 45 minutes to listen to. If you don't want to listen, here is a PDF. You can just read. But again, Mr. Osmond does a great job, and he points out some things that I would like you to notice, and he explains some things. This book takes place almost 100 years ago. And so there's going to be like words that he uses and things that are part of their culture that you will not necessarily know. So again, there's 4 sets of questions here, 4 question sets. You're choosing one question set. And this one, you don't have to go by your group. It doesn't matter if you're group 1, group 2, whatever. Choice 1. If you want to talk about diction and the setting, there's an awesome description of setting on the first page of the chapter here. And then, of course, later too. If you want to talk about juxtaposition, you can do that. If you want to talk about point of view, you can do this. And if you want to talk about diction and dissect Myrtle, Myrtle is another character. And I actually, says, because you don't have a physical book, I actually dragged and typed things in here so you can compare Daisy and Myrtle because they're like the 2 main females in the book, okay? So you're choosing one of these 4 question sets. So choose the one you're most interested in, or maybe choose the one that you struggle with the most. Maybe you need to practice some juxtaposition again. We haven't done that since the fall, really. So the very first one, I just want to go back to that again. This one, it's divided by groups, and I give you your groups. I only give you your groups again so you do the right question. You don't have to talk to your groups this week. Okay, there's nothing on here like don't be looking for like a group discussion. You don't have to. But I want to point this out to you. Miss Thurber and I, we're doing like the same things. Like her kids are getting the same calendar for the most part, except for like our Google Meet times and stuff. And so I rewrote you here. There are 5 sections of this class. So there's about 130 of you. Well, that wasn't helpful. Including both my kids and Mrs. Thurber's kids. books are way more fun to read if you talk about them with people. All right. So I would like you to answer your question here on your own and then talk to a friend or a group member about your answer. All right. Um, and kind of find out what they said, but then submit this in Canvas individually. Okay, so Gatsby chapter 1 and 2 this week. This looks like a lot, but again, you're picking one little section of it for each time. And then Friday, your This I Believe rough draft is due. So this calendar is in your announcements, you guys. That's where you should be going every morning. Every morning you should wake up and look at your Canvas announcements or your Google Classroom announcements, whatever you're in. The other thing you want to be doing a better job using is your modules. So you have a This I Believe module. So most of you should be right here in this module. Read and answer questions about Mrs. H's essays, okay? That is due today. Some of you did it Friday because originally it was going to be due Friday. Today you're going to watch this video of me explaining my essay, and Friday you're going to submit a rough draft. Okay, you need to be working on these things in order. If you still have no idea what I'm talking about, then you need to find like the original video up here in which I explain the assignment. The other module that you're working out of, and I'll move it up, is obviously the Gatsby. So you have your 4 walls activity, you have your chapter 1 reading and questions, and you have your chapter 2 reading and questions. Got it? This module is rhetorical analysis. This is all the AP videos, the AP College Board videos that they put out. Okay, I took notes on them all, and in here you have handouts that actually I time stamped some things because when you're watching these, you might be able to like fast forward and so forth. I kind of thought they re-explained some things that they didn't need to. So you could be doing that as well. You don't have to, but you can. It might be a good idea. So be working out of your modules too. Go to announcements first and then move to the modules for the day. All right, I hope that covered everything for the week. Please reach out if you have questions, concerns. If you want to Google Meet about an This I Believe essay today, that would be awesome as well. Okay? All right, talk to you later.